what would be one thing that if we discuss right now would change everything for you?
I think me and you talked about this. So the main problem I found right now is not really in the business, it's in the balance.
Yeah.
Uh, how to balance basically the work life, social life stuff, because work took over basically most of the times. And yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts about that to see like
Well, I'm sure you follow Alex Hormozy, right?
Alex.
Alex Hormozy. Yeah, you can Google him. He's got some really powerful content. Um, and he said something very interesting, right? He said, I had to come to terms with the fact that I love working. Right. So it's really a matter of what that looks like for you, because yes, everybody speaks about work-life balance, but what does that mean to Mohammed? Right. So when you say balance, what does that mean to you?
So to be honest, for me, I reached a point where like it didn't make that sense to me. Where I heard, I don't know if someone knows this guy, it's Ravi Abuvala. I think
Mm,
if you have an agency, most people. It's basically he talked about this work-life harmony, where it's not balanced, not like you have a strict schedule where you end stuff here and start here. It's just
right.
that harmony between your lifestyle and work style, and
Right.
how it can flow together hand by hand. And I think I'm trying to integrate this, but stuff goes out of hand really quickly when you're scaling. So,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree. And I think Nishta kind of touched upon this idea of flowing with life, right? Of allowing herself seeing scaling as her flowing as well. And something that Joe Rogan is a master at, something he was talking about, is understanding how to flow with life, right? Because timing basically means doing the right thing at the right time, right? So that being said, let's say, imagine you're super successful future self, and feel that energy of your super successful future self. Feel that inside your body right now. And allow it to amplify and grow until it is your body, until you are that version of you. And tell me, how does that version of you know when to do the right thing at the right time? How does that version of you know when to work and when to pause? How does he flow?
Interesting. I think for me, like I like working, so it will never be like the 2 hours work week where like you work for 2 hours. And I feel like see that like really lame for me. I don't like that schedule. So
Right.
I think the best way that works for me is integrating basically the lifestyle that I want with working.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said, I don't like at this point I don't believe that the balance where it has to have a balance just have to be harmony basically where like both of them are operating smoothly together.
Right.
And that's I think the best even in the future me I don't think it will be someone that would like to lay off for a few hours or
Right.
like
Kind of, we covered that, but what I mean is, like, strategically speaking, right? Does your future self have kids?
yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. So how does that version of you find time for family? How does that version of you find time to reflect on the business and optimize the business rather than constantly working in the business?
Mm,
Right. Because
exactly.
that version of you is a business owner. He's not somebody who's employed in his own business.
Yeah, makes sense.
So how does he do that?
So I think it will come down to priorities. Of course, when you're having family, it will be the top priority. So you'll, yeah, it will be either waking up early to have some time, or ending up like to work early to have that space where you are with your family. That's the first thing he would do is like make that space
Right.
in the morning and afternoon. And the second thing is delegation. Like I do have now delegation structure, but needs time to be executed. I think like uh, he would focus on doing what's only I know how to do the best, because there's a lot of stuff I do that people can do better than me.
Right.
So, only a few stuff that I actually can do good. So that's the things that I want to focus on, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what about the time you spend thinking rather than doing?
That's something I will need to think about to for at least at this stage. And as we talked last time, like I had a chance actually this week to like
Mhm.
restructure a little bit. I'm that person that likes to analyze the previous month and see what went wrong and right in all aspects. So I think, yeah, that's something definitely I missed out on like few months in the previous few months. Like
Beautiful.
when you got so indulged in that process.
Beautiful. Guys, are you getting value from this conversation? Right? Are you seeing things in your life that make sense to you from this conversation? Like things you can integrate? Beautiful. Um, and tell me about that. Like when you spend some time this week to just think and reflect on your business, what was that like for you?
So I noticed that there's like few hours, like not few, I used to say like 2 or 3 hours, a few hours a day. I'm doing stuff that can be definitely delegated
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not the best at it, but and can anyone can do it better than me. So I think the thing that I will do now is delegate these stuff slowly and
Mm-hmm.
focus on the stuff that I need to do.
Right. But I mean, like the time you spend just thinking and working on the business rather than in the business, how did you feel?
I mean, you feel I'll tell you, when you take the bigger picture, you always see like what was I doing? This makes no sense. But when you're in the picture, you're like, this makes so much sense. It's always like that, you know. And I'm that person that needs to write stuff down to actually visualize it. So that's what I do. Like I journal a little bit about what I want to do and I want to achieve. Then I read through them, and you can even spot your own mistakes in what you wrote. Like, what am I writing? What is this? This makes no sense. And then you can like improve upon that. And this is what I did. And actually, this activity I need to have it like every week, hopefully.
Right. So was that a profitable use of your time?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, this is something for everyone. This is going to be exceptionally powerful, especially if you're doing something that you're not that secure about. Maybe it's a sales call, maybe um, for those of you who have master sales, maybe it's about getting a bigger client than you ever gotten before. Maybe you just raise your prices and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And you feel like the ground is shaking. Just like Mohammed said, when you're in the picture, you're always going to be subject to all of the emotions that you're feeling, the ups and downs, or like what doesn't really make sense from the bigger picture perspective will make sense to you, like worrying, like being stressed, right? The reason why all of you are being so masterful, including myself, when we're coaching is because we step into that observer identity. We're detached to the thing, right? We're outside of the picture, we're the artist painting. But what if you allow yourself to be the observer in your content creation, in your lead generation, in your sales calls, in your delivery, in your relationship, in all aspects of life? What if you allow that state that you feel when you coach to take over? You're probably going to see a lot of things that don't really make sense that you're doing, and that's going to allow you to let go of that, right? Is this hitting home? Was that your experience?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because as you said, like when you're in the picture, it makes so much sense. And I'm sure like most of the people with agencies feel that when you're doing service delivery, you do exact steps to deliver results. But
Yeah.
when you're doing your own service delivery, you skip some stuff that then you regret. And that's
Oh,
something.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that that happens only for agency owners. I'm sure it doesn't happen for anyone else, right? We're all
Yeah, especially yeah. If you're a service company, for example, business development, you structure for a client so good and you give them a best product and here's the case study and everything's happening. But you're not doing the same for you because you don't have that much time. And yeah, but it's more rewarding if you do it yourself. And yeah, that's That's the things that I need to look into.
We all need to improve on taking our own medicine for sure,
True.
right? Beautiful. Mohammed, thank you so much and appreciate you for opening up this in this powerful way. I am sure this conversation was tremendously valuable for everyone, especially when you start building a team and you start delegating, right? These are some insights to have.